Jordan, did you know that for nearly 40 years, the surface of the moon was completely silent? Between 1976 and 2013, not a single human made object touched down on the lunar dust.
Wait, really? I figured we were up there all the time. You're telling me we just stopped going for 4 decades?
Exactly. We went from a frantic sprint to a total standstill. Today, we're unpacking the history of the moon landing, from the first metal sphere that slammed into the surface to the robots currently exploring the side of the moon we never see from Earth. The story doesn't actually start with Neil Armstrong. It starts in 1959 with a Soviet probe called Luna 2. It wasn't a gentle landing, it was a high-speed collision, making it the first human-made object to reach another world.
So it was basically a high-tech car crash? Why were we so desperate to just hit the thing?
It was the height of the Cold War. In the late 50s, simply hitting the moon was a massive technological flex. It proved you had the guidance systems and the rocket power to strike anywhere on Earth, too.
That puts a dark spin on it. It wasn't just about science, it was about showing off muscle. What was the vibe like back then? Was everyone just staring at the sky in terror?
There was definitely a sense of urgency. President Kennedy saw the Soviet lead and realized the U.S. needed a goal that was almost impossible to achieve. He picked a crude landing to bridge that gap. The world was divided and the moon became the ultimate finish line. Everything changed in July 1969. NASA launched Apollo 11, carrying Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. While Collins orbited above, Armstrong and Aldrin took the lunar module, the Eagle, down to the Sea of Tranquility.
I've seen the grainy footage, but I always wonder, how close did they actually come to failing? It couldn't have been as smooth as it looked on TV.
It was incredibly tense. Their computer started throwing error codes because it was overloaded, and they were running dangerously low on fuel. Armstrong had to manually fly the craft over a field of boulders to find a safe patch of dust. When they finally landed, they had less than 30 seconds of fuel left before they would have been forced to abort.
30 seconds? That's terrifying. And then they just walked out and started picking up rocks?
They spent just over 2 hours outside collecting samples and setting up experiments. Between 1969 and 1972, 5 more Apollo missions landed. Astronauts drove rovers, hit golf balls, and even brought back hundreds of pounds of moon rocks for scientists to study.
But then you said it all just ended. Why did the lights go out in 1972? Did we just run out of things to do?
Mostly, we ran out of money and public interest. The geopolitical point had been made. After the Soviet probe Luna 24 brought back a final soil sample in 1976, the moon became a ghost town. No one performed a soft landing, which is a landing where the spacecraft survives the impact, for the next 37 years.
That seems like a massive waste of momentum. Who finally broke the silence?
China did. In 2013, they landed the Chang'e 3 probe, ending the long drought. But the real game changer happened in 2019. China's Chang'e 4 mission landed on the far side of the moon, the side that always faces away from Earth.
I've heard people call that the dark side. Is it actually dark or just hard to reach?
It gets plenty of sunlight, but it's radio dark. Because the moon itself blocks radio signals from Earth, you can't talk to a probe back there without a special relay satellite. China managed to pull it off, exploring a region no one had ever touched.
Okay, so we're back on the moon, but why does it matter now? We've already been there, we've got the rocks, we've moved on to Mars and beyond.
It matters because the moon is no longer just a destination for flags and footprints. It's becoming a gas station for the rest of the solar system. We've discovered water ice in deep craters at the poles, which can be turned into oxygen for breathing and hydrogen for rocket fuel.
So the moon is basically a stepping stone for the rest of space, like a colonial outpost?
Exactly. Multiple countries and private companies are now racing to build permanent bases. We aren't just visiting anymore, we're looking for a way to stay. The first era was about the space race, but this new era is about the space economy.
It's wild to think that what started as a metal ball crashing into the dirt has turned into a legitimate land grab for the future of humanity.
It's the ultimate high ground. Whoever controls the moon potentially controls the lanes of travel to the rest of the planets.
We've covered a lot of ground today, literally. What's the one thing to remember about the history of moon landings?
Remember that while the 20th century was about proving we could get to the moon, the 21st century is about proving we can live there. That's Wikipodia. Every story on demand. Search your next topic at wikipodia.ai.